Lovely.
Yeah.
One man who knows a thing or two about challenging unfair behaviour is the Traitor star, Andrew Jenkins. He made it all the way to the end of the game, calling out his fellow players before being banished in the final.
During his time on the show, Andrew opened up about the mental health struggles he faced after a life-changing event, and now he's on a mission to keep breaking down the barriers and get people talking about trauma.
24 years ago, something happened to me that would change my life forever. I was involved in a severe car crash that very nearly killed me. My injuries were so bad, they thought I was dead on the side of the road. I'm only here now because of the quick work of the paramedics. I was rushed to hospital and my life hung in the balance. After surgery, my family were told to prepare for the worst, and I slipped into a coma. My severe head injuries had put me at risk of permanent brain damage, and doctors said if I ever woke from my coma, I might not recognise anyone or be able to walk, talk, or use my arms. My family went through their own trauma while I was in hospital, and today I've come to talk to my mum and dad, my brother Carl, and my son Morgan, to talk about what my accident was like for all of us. My mum still remembers the day I came out of my coma.
You told me that after you had your accident, you were walking down a dark tunnel towards a bright light. And you heard somebody calling you.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how near you were to death. I can remember that, Anne, because you were sitting there with tears running down your face. Yeah.
The accident left its physical marks, but just like for my family, the emotional scars are much deeper and harder to heal. I started to suffer from psychological trauma after the accident. It's something I'm still dealing with now.
It affected not only me, but it affected everybody around me as well. My son, all my relationships have been affected. But, you know, I never used to think I was enough. Like, I never used to think I was enough and never happy. And because I was so low self-esteem myself and so hated myself what I saw in the mirror, just projected my insecurity on the people. So it wasn't good, like, it's not nice to do to people.
A common symptom of trauma is not dealing with the strong emotions that come with it. And that's exactly how I was with my family.
So do you think I changed as a person after the accident?
Oh, yeah.
How did I change? How do you think I changed?
It's just, I don't know, it's just swing moods, like, you know.
Yeah, you did used to have swing moods.
Yeah.
What do you mean, like low down and quiet?
Yeah.
You wish you had been died when it happened. Look at me, I'm a freak and all this.
We were a bit, not afraid, but to fetch it up at that time, you know, because it was... You know, it's something that we just didn't
Not trigger anything, I suppose,
Yeah, we just didn't like to talk about it, you know.
I think for me, like, you know, obviously being a younger brother, I guess I didn't really think how much it did affect you until now. We never really asked each other, like, how are you? You were right, like, you know, it's not the sort of thing that we've ever done, is it, really?
But no, it's all out in the open, and the way you are now, like, brilliant.
My path to feeling better involved a lot of self-reflection and opening up to my family. And I also took the step last year of tracking down Hamish, the surgeon who operated on me after my accident, to thank him, which helped me to put the past behind me.
Meeting you just made me realise that how lucky I was, I think. And instead of looking back on my life where I'd lost my things, I'm looking forward and the post-traumatic growth, I suppose.
It's always lovely to see a patient again and see you know, how things have turned out. But fantastic, you know, you've turned it into something really positive.
Sometimes I wish I had started talking about my feelings sooner, but one thing I'm proud of is what my son Morgan has learned from my experience.
It's infectious. What you shared, it's brought the family closer, it's brought all your friends closer, and it's just brought everyone closer, even in the community kind of thing. Everyone talks a lot more. If anyone's grieving, it's not just us, is it? If anyone's grieving, they need to talk about it, but it's just like, that's the message you're putting across. You just need to talk about stuff.
It's estimated that 70% of the UK population will go through a trauma at some point in their life. According to mental health charities, some people feel unable to talk about it because of the stigma associated with trauma. It's something Mourning Lives Dr Punam deals with in her practice.
Essentially, trauma, it is an event that could be unexpected, something unusual out of the blue that happens in your life that just causes deep hurt, distress, and it can be anything, you know, it could be anything from an accident, being involved in a fire, burglary, to more, you know, distressing things like being attacked, whether you've witnessed a death, for example.
Where do you draw the line of trauma? Is it like breaking a finger in a football match or a rugby match, or could it be, does it have to be a serious thing like a car crash?
Trauma is whatever has caused you personal distress. And you know, nobody can say to you whether it was something that's minor or major. It's how you perceive that event. And it's very varied, the response to a traumatic event. Classic things that I hear is people feeling very anxious. It can delve you into a deeper sense of depression. You know, it's such a wide spectrum of symptoms. You know, the first step is to reach out to anyone that you trust. You know, failing that, because it's not always easy to talk to someone like that, it's your GP.
While I know my work to deal with my trauma is not done, even travelling a short way down that path meant I had the confidence to appear on the TV show The Traitors and share my story.
Basically, yeah, obviously, as most of you know, obviously my accident I had 24 years ago, and I don't know, I've walked on the chip on my shoulder for so long, and you know, resentful, and I've never celebrated anything I've done well, or I've always hard on myself.
Yeah, it's a crazy feeling. Like, it makes you realise, yeah, God, I've come on so far. Like, and yeah, it just brings back all the memories.
I thought I always could do things better, and I've never really appreciated anything I've done in my life, to be honest. And
brings it all back. It just makes you realise how much I've come on. Like, and what I'm doing now. I'm a different guy, like different person I was a few years ago. Completely different. Yeah. So, oh, it's powerful. Oof.
Talking about my feelings has turned my life around, but others are still suffering in silence.
I think, as a society, we're getting better and more accepted at factors surrounding our mental health, but there's still a long way to go. And the more open and honest we can be, the better.
That's the thing, isn't it? Being able to talk about it is the first step. If people are worried about a loved one who's been through trauma, Dr. P, you would have seen it yourself quite a bit. What do you say? What's your advice?
I think the most important thing to remember is that anyone that's been through any form of trauma, you know, it's not your place to judge it. It's a space where they are so vulnerable, they're so raw. Your job there is to be supportive, is to listen. I think we underestimate the power of listening and being there for people. And as I said, you know, your GP is always there. If you are struggling, reach out.
There's always help, isn't there? And if you need support with mental health, the details are available at bbc.co.uk/action line. Punam, you're also tackling another subject with this